AOC Dodgers Nazis. This is the gray zone video, and that's her right there. When she's standing there, fine. When he says gray zone, she go, "Oh, I'm out this motherfucker." Right when she hears gray zone, she puts on the jets and be like, "Oh, I gotta go." You motherfuckers ain't about to do me like you did Rokana. You ain't about to call me out on this Nazi shit. The professional managerial class left, other words known as the NATO left, pretending that they don't know anything or know less about the Nazi issue or downplaying the Nazi issue. But one of the gray zone reporters, he says this: noted anti-fascist AOC trailed off and refused to condemn the standing ovation Canada's parliament and Ukrainian President Zelensky gave to a Nazi Waffen SS veteran invited by the Liberal Party of Justin Trudeau. The gray zones caught up with AOC on Capitol Hill. Now, you're going to have to catch it closely, but she's standing fine, and then she's going to take off right when she hears what this is about. She's like, "Oh, you're not going to catch me here. You're not about to throw me under the bus and have everybody coming after me on the left." So let's listen.
I catch you at the late night on the same topic.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Quick comment for the gray zone. Were you concerned last week when President Zelensky in Ukraine gave a standing ovation for an ex-Nazi war veteran in Canada?
Well, I mean, I think any situation like that.
It is concerning.
She is trying to buy time here. She is trying to buy time here. She's like, I think that she is calculating. Damn, there's a Ukraine war going on. You know what this is another tell of? I know I stopped in the middle of my thought. You know what this is another tell of? This is a tell that she knows there's a Ukraine Nazi problem over there with the Ukraine war. Because think about it, a person unaware of this problem wouldn't be trying to avoid answering a question. They'd be like, "What? Canada did what? Yeah, I'd condemn that," if they're unaware. But if you are aware of the Nazis in Ukraine fighting in this war in particular, then you have to do this, especially when you're now part of the establishment and you're not trying to walk on anybody's toes or have any gaffes about Nazis in Ukraine, especially when they're trying to get this funding right now. So that's where you see the pause. I mean, answering a question about Nazis, I can't think of another question that everybody should just have a quick answer. What do you think about Nazis? They're bad. What do you think about Nazis? Punch them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to. What do you think about Nazis? Well, you know, why are your words so milquetoast about Nazis, AOC? Well, let's get back to the video and let's see if she answers that question.
Well, I mean, I think
Look at the pause.
any situation like that.
It is concerning.
Thank you.
She paused to buy time. I just need a split second so I can get in my car. I can give a very generic answer before I get in my car. Because if I answer it 2 seconds before that, when she's delaying in her language, if I answer that, he can come back. Well, wait a minute, that's not clear enough. Let me ask you a follow-up. Isn't that some bullshit? So what she did is she paused to prevent a follow-up question. Cowardice. But these are the people that's going to take over the Democratic Party. That is unfiltered cowardice. Let's see how long goes by when he asked the question.
President Zelensky in Ukraine gave a standing ovation for an ex-Nazi war veteran in Canada.
Well, I mean, I think
it's 13 seconds. There's 11 seconds left in the video. We're at second 13. The video is 20 seconds long. We're at second 13, and the video is 24 seconds long. So 11 seconds left. In 11 seconds, she can answer that question, and he can follow up if the answer is not suffice. But you know what he can't do is you know why he can't have a follow up? Because she pauses. 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds.
It is concerning.
Thank you.
Just fucking cowardice. But this is the best supposedly the left has. Why don't you tell me you know the Ukraine military is filled with Nazis without telling me you know the Ukraine military is filled with Nazis? Why don't you do that, AOC? Just clown shit from a clown. And just to prove the point, this is going to be another segment, so I'm only going to show you a short part of this. Just to prove the points of Nazis, here is a spokesperson. This is Sarah Ashton Cirillo, the American fired as the Ukrainian military spokesperson for threatening comments. This is that person. Let's listen. Caught in a video where she thinks she's speaking to a Ukrainian, a military official in the Ukraine military or the Ukraine, or in the Russian military or the Ukraine military. I can't remember. That's what she thinks. Why she thinks she can be more candid. Let's listen. AOC.
Terrible problem with most foreign fighters here because they are just a step above mercenaries, and they come here because all they know is warfare. And while I defend them in public, in private, I know many of them have very far right leanings. So there's some Nazi groups, and I reported this. I also know that many of them are doing this because they have no lives outside of in their own countries. And so we have security risks, and more importantly, we have morale and psychological issues because foreign soldiers are here for the money. Most of them. Terrible problem with most foreign fighters here because
wait till I get to that story. The video is like, it's like a 15-minute call, a 20-minute call. It's like a 20-minute call that she's on with this person. And it's a well-known prankster that does this. Russian prankster, but he pretends he's Ukrainian. Yeah, it's a Russian prankster. They pretend. Weak. But in AOC, man, just another showing that AOC is nothing but a coward. And if we on the left are expecting cowards like AOC and Bernie Sanders, to be quite frank with you, then we're going to be in this place forever of never getting anywhere and just keep going back to, let's see if we can go through the Democratic Party. This is AOC. Now this is a good receipt here. This is back in January. Let's listen. They wore Auschwitz, I don't know how to say that, shirts, erected gallows, and tried to hang the vice president. Your continued excusal and denial of Wednesday's neo-Nazis presidents is abhorrent and dangerous. The most healing, see how she's talking about Nazis. She has no problem talking about Nazis here and using that phrasing here. Look who she's quote tweeting in this. That's Ted Cruz. She has no problem with it, but she knows she's part of the establishment. She knows she can't say anything against the war. That's one of the red lines if you're part of the establishment, and she's just not willing to cross that. But we think she's going to help us, or she's an ally.